Hello, humans. I've been talking about doing YouTube videos or speaking about my disease for a long time, and I'm finally gonna do it. Hopefully. Alright. So this channel is dedicated to erasing the stigma surrounding and raising awareness for chronic illnesses and maybe some mental health issues in there too if I get the motivation to speak so. Anyway, my name is Sommer Rose. I'm 20 years old. I'm in college. I am graduating with my degree in music psychology in May, and then I will be in a master's program for clinical mental health counseling in the fall. I'm super excited. I'm marrying my best friend this summer. But what all looks like a super successful life, I carry a secret around with me that you can't see on the outside, and that is that I am chronically ill. I have a very rare disease, which is what this video is about today. Today is going to be more of the sciencey stuff behind my disorder, which is called Achalasia disorder. And then later I will talk more about how I deal with it, what it's like to be 20 years old with a disease, and all that jazz. So anyway, I'm going to keep it lighthearted, scientific as much as I can, and hopefully just to be an encouragement for those of you out there who are struggling with this disease or others like it, and informative to those of you who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, because I encounter that a lot, which is okay. So when I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with an esophageal disorder called Achalasia. So I've been in and out of gastroenterology for a very, very long time, actually since I was a baby, and I always had stomach problems. Found out like I needed to be on formula, so bless my parents, they ate mac and cheese for a while just to make sure they could afford my formula. Sorry. And yeah, my poor mom having to clean up after me. So I'm no stranger to doctors. But around when I was 13 years old, I remember this very clearly. My mom and I were sitting in Wendy's right before Wednesday night Bible club, and she's like, "How many cups of tea have you had?" And I'm like trying to eat my little chicken sandwich, and I was about on the third cup of liquid, and I was not even halfway done with the sandwich. And she's like, that's not normal. Maybe we should go to the doctor. And I'm like, no. But thankfully she scheduled an appointment after listing my symptoms, which were chest pain, complete inability to get anything down my esophagus. My doctor recommended a couple tests, and so I went in for a barium swallow, and the first thing the nurse said when she saw the results of a barium swallow, for those of you who don't know, is like an x-ray taken at like 30 seconds, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes, and you swallow this. It's not radioactive, but you can see it. It shows how well your esophagus drains, I guess. It tastes nasty. But anyway, she's like, this isn't normal. If you need a surgeon, you should go to so-and-so. And a 13-year-old me is like, surgery? No. So anyway, it was easy to see that I was not in a normal state when it came to my esophagus, and because of my other symptoms. So I had an endoscopy, and that showed very little emptying of my esophagus. There was food still in there, even though I hadn't eaten for a while. There was liquid still in there, and they're like, that's not normal either. We think it's this rare disease, but there's one more test we have to do to make sure, to test the peristalsis, which is the waves that your esophagus does to get food down, and test the pressures of the lower esophageal sphincter, which is the valve that opens to your stomach to let food in. So this test is called an endoscopic manometry. I don't like to talk about it. It sucked. But anyway, so that showed that I had little to no peristalsis, and my LES wasn't opening, so food was just getting backed up and backed up and backed up. I literally could not get anything into my stomach. I was a little bit underweight. I'm not going to talk numbers on this channel. So anyway, they were able to diagnose me with achalasia disorder. So achalasia means failure to relax, which is funny to me because I don't relax very well. So basically your lower esophageal sphincter, your LES, does not relax to let food get into your stomach. You have 0 to very poor functioning peristalsis, so you don't have a lot of waves to get food down your esophagus, and chronic dysphagia, which is difficulty swallowing. Yes. So along with that comes a lot of chest pain. Some of us have esophageal spasms, which I'll talk about in a later video. When we cough, because food isn't always in our stomachs, it comes up. Some people have trouble breathing. There's a lot of various symptoms, and it is a rare disease, so sometimes literally in like the achalasia community, people experience symptoms across such a diverse scale. It's fascinating. So anyway, that's achalasia. Treatments include pneumatic dilation. So what they do is when you go in for an endoscopy, they stick like this balloon thing on it, and they blow it and stretch out your LES and rip it to let food into your stomach. I've had 2 or 3 of those. Ask my mom. Just kidding. Some people have Botox injections or muscle relaxants. Those are often used at end stage when the esophagus has stretched because there's been so much food stored in it for so long. It is not a good point to be at. You can also have a Heller myotomy, which is going in surgically and cutting the LES. You can also have a peroral endoscopic, what is my problem with that word, myotomy, called the Poem procedure. That's a newer one, and it's getting really, really great results, but that is basically going in non-invasively to cut the LES. If you notice, there's nothing we can do to cure this disease. There's only ways to treat the symptoms, help food get into the stomach so we can be properly nutritioned. What? There's no known cause. I think a study came out a couple years ago saying it is autoimmune. So somehow my body's like, oh, esophagus, die. So that's fun. Usually people are diagnosed at 25 to 60 years old. It's very rare to be diagnosed in childhood. And the incidence is about 1.6 in 100,000, so it's extremely rare. There's been some really, really great research done, but because it is so rare and there's not a lot of us out there, yeah, there's not a ton of data that some other diseases have. So yeah, it was really weird for me to be diagnosed at such a young age. There are a lot of younger people who do have achalasia. It's just a lot rarer. Some of the dangers of this disease are malnutrition. When your esophagus stretches that far, sometimes it can rip, and that's really not good. Yeah, and the chest pain is very confusing, and anyway, I'll talk about that. There's also 3 types of achalasia. There's achalasia type A, B, and C, I think. Type A is what I am diagnosed with. It's no peristalsis and something with my LES. Type 2, I'm sorry, type B or type 2, I don't know. I actually can't remember what. And then 3 is achalasia with diffuse spasms, and so there's like this peristalsis, but it's not right. Anyway, very wordy. I apologize. Sorry for my lack of knowledge about type 2. It's the rarest. So yeah, that's achalasia. Next week, I will be posting a video about esophageal spasms and how I handle them, and my handy dandy spasm first aid kit complete with barf bag. Yay! Thanks for watching and hearing me ramble. I love you all. If you have any questions about achalasia, hit me up. I'm always willing to answer questions about it because I don't think there should be any silence when you have a rare disease. You deserve to know, I deserve to be heard, and you deserve to be heard as well. Thank you for listening, guys, and see you next week. Bye!